Today, guys, let's take a look at the brand new STIHL FSA 110R. Hey guys, Josh with Carl's Mower and Saw, and we're gonna unbox this brand new AP battery powered STIHL trimmer. It is currently running side by side with the existing FSA 86. We'll see what happens if the 86 continues or if they just go to the FSA 110. Real quick spec that I noted was the FSA 110 has 50% more power than the FSA 86. That's a massive power jump, yet the runtime didn't change much. So obviously some efficiency gains. I'll have to do a live field test so I can really see what it gets into and how it works. Let's go ahead and break into this today and see some of the differences between this machine. I don't have the 86 with me, but let's see what highlights this machine has and why we might like this as an alternative to the 86 or a new trimmer into our platform of tools, right? They're hanging on the shed wall. Maybe you purchased yourself an MSA 220 chainsaw or a BGA 86 blower. So you have the AP battery system and you want to stick in it. This is a good, lightweight, powerful, awesome trimmer just for around the yard. Here we go. Let's go. Crack it open and see what we got. What kind of chaos am I walking into today? Am I going to have the tools I need? Always the question that I have. All right, here we go. Here's the basic trimmer. We got to put a handle on. So we're going to grab the handle. And I see, as I open this up, it is a handle very reminiscent of what is used on some of the other STIHL battery machines. The KMA 80, the FSA 80, the AK little guys are using a handle very similar to this that allows for quick, easy adjustment of handle placement, toolless per se. So to be honest, I'm not sure how I like this handle. I do hate assembling it. I think it's more of a pain in the butt to assemble, but I think once it's on, it's not that big a deal. So let me struggle through getting this on and then we will go from there. We'll make the next step. I'm getting better at it, so really not a big deal. But the first time you do something, you're like, what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? How come I can't figure this out? Okay, so we know we have more power than the existing FSA 86. What other advantages do we have to this machine? Runtime, I talked about runtime. They're talking about a runtime of up to 55 minutes with the AP 200 battery. That's a crazy amount of time. I mean, real world, is that going to be true or not? There are 3 trigger modes of sorts. It says you got kind of a standard and a low and a high, all while being variable. Yet also on top of that, you have an eco mode that will adjust the speed while in the cut per se. You see what I'm dealing with here? I mean, the old one, we just put a screw and a nut on. This one, you've got a clamp. Once it's figured out, it's pretty simple. So I loosen these little quick cap or wing nuts of sorts and tighten those up, and then I clamp right here. I tighten that a little bit far, so I gotta loosen that up a couple turns. Boom, 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 clamp. All right, so easy thing is I can loosen that clamp as an owner, as a homeowner, as an operator, tighten it, move it where I want. Okay, so clamp is on. The eco mode will allow for the machine to adjust in the cut based on how heavy the material that is being cut is. That's a nice thing. That could be useful. You know, a lot of times we're just kind of pedal to the metal of sorts with the trigger and we're not paying attention to, oh man, we really did not need to be spinning that fast. Yet it is important to have a variable throttle and be able to adjust it yourself, because sometimes if you're using this as an edger per se, when I'm on the side, I need a good line speed so that I can get a good clean cut and keep that line taut, so it's not bouncing all over the place. So we got 3 screws here that are holding on this trimmer guard. All right, tightening this one last screw. Now, the next thing scares the crap out of me. Okay, here we go. What scares me is this new head design. Here we go, STIHL, coming out with another new head, and maybe it is the king of the world. Maybe it is not. This is called a, I think they said rapid replace. They've got a terminology they've coined that I am very easily able to, with one button, pull the whole head off and replace it with different heads. So I'm assuming that we'll have a polycut version. We may someday have a DuraCut version of this head. I simply push it on, so the head is in place. I got an orange button here on the side. and it pops off. That's pretty slick. Now, how do we replace the line? Let's pop this off. Let's open. I see we got 0.095 trimmer line. Okay, the cap comes off. It is a EasySpool of sorts head. This is never easy to rewind line that's already been wound, guys, but let's do it. So let's pull out the trimmer line like so. Let's reassemble it. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we think of this. So spool in place, cap in place. So I do notice one thing, that spring is retained. It came apart easy. That was easy on my hands. It wasn't hard to do that. It looks like the bottom is one solid piece. So as you wear out the bottom, you know, running on concrete, you'll replace it. And then to wind it, line it up just like so. So straight across. I don't know if I might just take it off to wind it. I think it might be easier. Okay, so because of that easy push button, remove the head. Trimmer line, stick in here, push, came out the other side. You see that? Now, the only time this is not gonna work is when you have broken the trimmer line off and there's a bunch of crap still inside. Well, now all of a sudden the tunnel is plugged of sorts. So pay attention to it. If you can't get the line to feed through, you're probably gonna pop it open and see that you broke the line off. Why does the line break off? How frustrating. A couple of the keys is you need to use a good quality, fresh trimmer line, and you have to tap often enough. It's so easy to think, I'm not using any trimmer line, I'm cutting light stuff, but all the while, this trimmer line, where it comes out of this eyelet, is wearing right there, and then all of a sudden it snaps off, and now it's done, and now you got a pain in the butt. So tap, 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 tap often enough to keep the line advancing. One of the biggest problems that I see. Okay, so let's suck in this trimmer line. Let's put the ends of the line together. This is the easiest way to find the middle, just like so. Boy, I'm about right on. Okay, and wind. Yeah, I think I would just take this off to wind it. And I could easily do it right or left-handed. Interesting, this trimmer head does not appear to be perfectly round on the cap. I wonder if that's intentional, so I actually have kind of a squared area to grab onto. Maybe they were thinking about ergonomics and how people's hands are gonna feel. Okay, line is loaded. Now the head is on. Let's get this stuff out of the way. A bit of garbage here. Not bad, pretty easy setup, especially, you know, first time you pull it out of a box, you never know what you're going into. Okay, let's put the battery in. I've got my AP200S. Hopefully I have a little bit of juice in this so it'll actually work. Full bars, here we go. Okay, just like a normal AP. Boom, battery's engaged. I got my safety here, my throttle interlock, and then my on-off switch are these wings on the side, okay? So as long as my hand is down holding the throttle interlock in, I push with either my right or left hand, and I have turned it on. Okay, so here we go. We are on eco mode right now, turned on. Tap it. Let's get some power. Whew. Yeah, that thing's whipping. Hear that? Let's see how this throttle works, the variable throttle. Let's see how we can get for control of this. Okay, can I go any slower? Nope, not any slower. Rip it up. A little higher, a little higher. Yeah, good variation on the throttle. The FSA 110R, let's take a look at the box, see what other things are gonna point out. So we say we've got a variable speed throttle, eco mode, okay, that's gonna actually kind of fluctuate in between, right, the power that's needed. Weight is coming in at 10.7 pounds, which is roughly a half a pound heavier than the FSA 86. We have, they say it's quiet, so no need for earmuffs. So I always talk about safety. 7.9 pounds naked without a battery. It's 68.1 inches long. It is IPX rated for water. That doesn't mean you can go swimming with it. We have the rapid click system head. We have the Advanced EasySpool. That was an easy to load head. Constant power. They talk about with the STIHL design, the motor battery, that you're gonna have full power, full performance to the end of the battery. Easy to adjust handle, polycut, line, harness. Those are options. Turning around a little bit here, they say up to 16,000 square feet. I don't know, how do you really measure that? How tall was the grass? But between 22 and 55 minutes of runtime. Again, a 16-inch, not a 60-inch, a 16-inch cutting diameter, IPX4 rated, constant power, 10.7, easy spool. The STIHL FSA 110R, good, really balances well. Feels a lot more like a gas trimmer in the way it balances, and that's something that I always appreciate personally as we get into some of these battery tools. They just don't feel the same, and you get so used to how your gas machine feels. So swing by Carl's Mower and Saw, check out the cool new STIHL FSA 110R. If you're not in our area, find a good local dealer who can take care of you long-term, providing you the parts, service, support that you're gonna need with your awesome new STIHL tool. We'll see you soon at Carl's Mower in Ferndale.